Today's discussion is the seniors. Now you're probably asking, who discusses seniors on TV? Guess what? We're going to be doing it shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. I've got Gina on the show today, Clifford-Holmes. Sounds very interesting. It sounds like one of those investigative programs, but it's not. We're discussing a program that we're doing on Deen TV that will specifically deal with the seniors in our society and their lives and how to better and improve the quality of their lives. Gina, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here.
So it's very interesting that we met because for a long time, I did think, as a channel CEO, I thought to myself, you know what, we sort of talk to everyone and we've got this big focus on youth, and everybody that comes in here talks about youth and what are we planning to do about the youth. And you know, one day we need to leave this behind so that there's a legacy for the youth. So that's the general train of thought when it comes to society.
Right. True.
In all of that, are we clouded, and do we leave a certain sector of our society outside that ring of society?
I would agree with you. I think we do. The baby boomer group, those of us who were born between 1946 and 1964, is a huge demographic that I believe is neglected by the media. And I think this group is very much neglected by society as a whole. They're every bit as vulnerable and in need as the youngsters are. So I think there's a huge forum to be able to answer the subjects that they have that might interest them, and I'm really committed to helping them get a healthy, active lifestyle, because I want to have a healthy, active lifestyle as I continue to get older. I don't consider myself old, but I know I'm getting older. So I want to be able to share that. I've been teaching this wonderful class, so I've been getting great results, and I think there's a lot that we're going to be able to do with the show as well.
I think that's important, but you used the word vulnerable, and when you said that, my mind just warped a little bit backwards, and I just started thinking and feeling a bit sad for a moment. And that's because I think about this properly. Put yourself in the shoes of an elderly person that is in the community. The kids have moved off. Let's just sketch a real story here. Kids have moved off, got married, have their own lives, visit parents once every week or 2 weeks, and I've heard of people that visit their parents every 2-3 months or whatever it may be. They're on their own, they no longer drive, perhaps they need to do some shopping sometime, they're feeling ill at some points, some don't have the energy anymore. They're disconnected because of social media, and people don't phone that much anymore. People used to phone more in the past. Now they message and the WhatsApp and that sort of thing. So I'm trying to visualize that senior citizen, male and female, perhaps a mother, father, grandfather, grandmother that's now disconnected, doesn't have much to do in the day, and pretty much sits and stares at the wall. Now, thinking about that and putting that in perspective is a sad story for me, but it's real.
It is real, but it needn't be like that. I think
That's the point.
Absolutely. We want to make a change. We want to be able to reach out and inspire people and empower people, whatever their age, to realize that they still have value to bring to the world and to their own families, and to be able to stand up and be recognized for who I am. I'm still here. Not to become invisible, because that's often what happens. You know, people might have been very glamorous when they were younger, and a whole room would turn around and stare at them. And now they're this older person, and they're just not seen, but they still need to be seen. So, yeah, I heard a dreadful story when I went up to a retirement home in Johannesburg last week, and they have people. And they've had a situation where someone has been literally brought to their door by the family with their suitcases and left. They've kind of booked them in, but they had never told their parent, grandparent, that they are being moved to a retirement home. And then they're left. And
can you imagine that's, I think that the level of shock for me is at a certain level, but I'm trying to think and put my mind and my thoughts into the space of that individual, and exactly what they think and feel like at that point. I don't think that the feeling would be very along the fact that this has happened to me, the shock of it, more the fact of going into the room, being shown your key, and then the disappointment, a lifelong of disappointment,
Absolutely.
comes into 5 minutes. You know, shocking.
And thankfully, this person has been moved into a home that really is moving with the times and wanting to keep their seniors healthy, active, stimulated, change away from that very regimented regime which a lot of older, more established retirement homes had. So I think all of us are aware that we're living longer. It was interesting, I looked at the last census that was taken in South Africa in 211, and the numbers over 60 are rising. So it had gone already from I think 1.8 million up to 4 million who are over 60 as of 2011.
That's a drastic one.
A big jump, and it's the next one that's even bigger. By 2030, which is not so far away, that number's going to be at 7 million.
That's interesting. Is that number not proportionate to the increase in the popular size?
No, I mean that is what they estimate that senior group. It's that the baby boomer bubble, those who were born after the war, that are moving up the cycle. And in America, they reckon that they've got 5 million with Alzheimer's, but by the time
5 million.
Five people, it's huge, it's huge. And their estimates with this bubble continuing to grow, that in the next 15 years, it's going to double. It'll be 10 million. And they don't have the infrastructure for it.
Interesting. But you know what's led you into it? I mean, there's got to be a defining moment for everything and anything. And I always say that something had to occur, or you needed to see or experience something or hear something that has driven you in a certain direction. What was that point for you? Because this area or genre is not the common area and genre of what people get involved with. People get involved with all kinds of things. But it's very rare for me to hear someone's gone into dealing with the elderly from the perspective that you do.
It was a wonderful exercise program called Ageless Grace that I knew about and took
Did you go as a
teaching.
Did you go as a student?
I did. And
That's my point just proven.
Well, there we are. But you asked what the catalyst moment was. I think what it was the realization that I'm getting older and that I want to introduce more fitness into my life. And I like the idea that maybe I would actually even teach other people some type of fitness. But given the fact that I am in my 50s, heading closer to 60 now, I wasn't going to be doing Zumba. I wasn't going to start a fit camp. So what was I going to do? And I knew of Ageless Grace because the lady who created it used to teach a wonderful dance program called Nia. And I didn't think Ageless Grace was going to be for me, just because that I thought it was for seniors, and I didn't feel I was that senior or that it would interest me. And I didn't investigate it properly. So when I did investigate it, I just got so excited by its potential. And I went off and got the training materials, because there are 3 great training materials. So I worked through this 21-day program at home and really felt the benefits just doing 10 minutes a day.
So you felt the change?
Unbelievable. I thought, how can something as simple...
How do you define that change?
It manifested in mobility, in flexibility, in balance, in a sense of absolutely reduction of stress. I just felt better. I felt taller. Yes, that's
a sign of confidence.
Absolutely. So that was great. And then I thought, okay, I want to teach this to other people. And I started asking around and explaining exactly what this course did. And the interest from everywhere that I went was very positive. It was like, yes, come and give us a demonstration. And the certification is a very straightforward course. It's only 2 days. So I did the certification at the end of May. And I'd already set up 5 demonstrations in the following 10 days, never having taught any exercise or any class before, but so excited about the simplicity of the program. I went straight in, I finished on the Sunday nights, did my first class on Monday morning to 14 people.
And how did that go?
Fantastic. It was only 30 minutes, my knees knocked, and a bit like today, somewhat nervous but excited. And the response was fantastic, and the other places were great. And every single place I did a demonstration, they said, when can you start a class? So that demonstration was turned into 5 classes. It's now 10 classes a week, both in retirement homes, in frail care centres, and public classes in various community halls in the southern suburbs.
So we see a complete slide on the supply and demand, because you have alluded to an increase in demand.
Yes.
And I think that the increase in demand is even exacerbated by the fact that programs like this that we're discussing will highlight the issue of bringing out those lonely senior people into the forefront so that they can live a better quality of life.
I see that just with where I go and do my classes, that people say, oh, this is the highlight of our week. We love this class, because the community and socialization is so important to them. Seniors do get, sometimes, as we say, if they're marginalized and put on the side and they just think, well, their time's past, they get desperately lonely. And I think to be able to give them a class, a very, very simple exercise program that lifts their spirits, is going to be brilliant. And to be able, through the program, to be able to inform them about things that they might be concerned about. Maybe there's some area of sickness that seniors get that we're concerned about, whether that's going to be dementia, Alzheimer's.
So there's a host of things. Gina, we're going to go on a quick ad break. When we come back, we're going to talk to you guys about the actual program that Gina is doing. We understand that there's a need for the program, there's a need for what Gina does, and we're going to take that, augment that into a TV show, which we'll talk to you about when we come back from the break.